All right, good morning. Once again, good morning, everyone. And thank you for joining session 4 of our people analytics training. We've had 1, we've had 2, we've had 3. Today is the 4th session, and you're very much welcome into this another exciting, I wanted to say episode, but well, maybe we can say that, of our people analytics training. Of course, I want to believe that we have taken as much value as we can from the last 3 sessions, and today will not be an exception. And I'm sure we are all going to have to learn a lot by the end of this session. Okay, without further ado, let's get started. In the meantime, if you've learned anything so far from this course, please drop it in the chat, right? It will be interesting to read some of your feedback, right, about what you have learned from this course so far. Okay, please drop that in the chat while we continue for the day. Okay, so it's a session, like I said. Rosabel, you can't hear me. Again, everyone, if you can hear me audibly, please thumbs up. Let's know if Rose is okay. Rose, you may need to check your internet or your device, or you may want to leave and rejoin. Okay. Yes, let's get this going. So people analytics training or people analytics course is what we are talking about. Like I said, we have had 3 sessions already. In the first 2 sessions, we took deep dives into people analytics in general. We did an introduction. We talked about types of analytics. We talked about the tools for analytics. We talked about the metrics that matters when it comes to people analytics. We really took a deep dive into those in the first 2 sessions. If you missed those sessions, you will be able to watch the recordings once we release them. That would be at the end of the 6th week. And I'm sure you will find a lot of value in them. Okay. For session 3, which was last week, we started with our Covenant case study, and we couldn't finish it. So that is what we're going to be finishing today. So by the end of this exercise today, you all, should have been able to create a very wonderful Excel dashboard that you can share or that you can use. And of course, you can use the learnings. Remember, all the case studies and everything we're talking about here is for you to internalize this knowledge. So if you have used, in addition to you dropping what you have learned in the last 2 sessions, if you have applied any of the things you have learned in this 3 sessions so far in your professional or personal capacity, please, we may want to hear from you, or we will like to hear from you. You can please drop a summary in the chat. And if your story is very interesting, maybe we just may reach out to you for some goodies. Okay. Yes, so people analytics training is the course. This is of course organized by Reliance Info Systems. We can't forget to mention that. Again, Reliance Info Systems is a global ICT organization that helps organization leverage digital technologies, strategies, and innovation to drive the organizational growth, to enhance efficiency, and of course to foster business success. Reliance Info Systems help you, your organization, and your IT team to transform digitally all right, and be ready for the now of work. It's no longer future of work. It's now the now of work, because the future is happening right now. We're seeing a lot of emerging technologies, from AI to from artificial intelligence to virtual reality, to machine learning, to co-pilots, and so on and so forth. And organizations, of course, that have gone on this journey have, of course, been able to accelerate their time to market. They've been able to accelerate their growth, their revenue, and of course, they've been able to save costs. Okay, so Reliance Info System have some solution designations and advanced specialization. So if you're looking at modernizing your infrastructure, if you're looking for help on data and AI, digital and app innovation, modern work, security, and business applications, Reliance Info System have a number of solutions that can help you in this capacity. We also have specialization in infra and database migration, in modernizing your web applications. If you're doing DevOps with GitHub, cloud security, threat protection, low code application, and so on and so forth. So the next time you want to embark on any of these journey, Reliance Info System is the choice IT partner for you. Of course, we are 3 times Microsoft Partner of the Year, so Microsoft trusts us to win with you, our customers, and of course, help you drive efficiency. We operate on 3 strategic pillars, namely business transformation, protection assurance, and operation excellence. On our business applications, we cover everything from identity and access management to enterprise storage, to your data center automation, process automation, and of course, intelligent building solutions. For operational excellence, here we help with your modern ERP solutions, Dynamics 365, Opera Matic, and so on and so forth. We help you with your customer engagement strategies. We help you with business intelligence. One of those, so our current training is falling under one of our core pillars at Reliance Info System, which is business intelligence, leveraging data for strategic and intelligent decision making in the organization. We also leverage a data platform, digital advisory, and so on and so forth. All right. So we don't just come into your organization and sell solution. We help you win. All right. So we help you on a number of moves or strategies, right, to help you. And one of those, like we mentioned the last week, is our license to value offer. So if you currently have M365 or Microsoft 365 in your organization, we can, of course, help you to make use of your license, to get a lot of value from your license at no extra cost to you. So can help you onboard things like Viva Insight, Viva Engage, Viva Learn, and the host of Viva Suites, as well as other offers or features that you can leverage on in your current license. Yeah, we're not saying come and buy a new license. You're saying that use the licenses you currently have to the best of its ability, and also to serve the organization. Finally, protection assurance, everything under endpoint security, gateway protection, security audit, advanced threat protection, and so on and so forth. Governance and compliance, a lot of laws or that the organization needs to be compliant by digital laws, that a lot of organization, and even most especially the human resource team or unit, need to be abreast of in terms of handling organization data, staff data, and so on and so forth. And of course, we can help you on this journey as well. Again, for the benefit of those just joining us, this training is basically is suited for HR professionals, or will I say business executives that are interested in making valuable use of people's data or people data and make informed decision. The course is beginner friendly, so we are only exploring fundamental concepts or fundamental to intermediate concepts in HR analytics. We will not be covering any advanced concepts such as predictive analytics, big data, and so on and so forth. So participant, if you're participating in this training, you should set 2 hours aside every week for the sessions, and an extra 2 hours for your own personal study time, especially since last week when we started the practical. So if you know that you've completed, you're up to speed with where you are or where we stopped last week with regards to creating the pivot table, please drop a comment in the chat. I would love to learn about that. So at the end of this training, your participants are expected to be able to describe core HR analytics concepts, applications of HR analytics, understanding in HR tools, the metrics that matter, and also be able to build simple interactive dashboards. Okay. Our ground rules have not changed. All right. All mics are muted, all videos are turned off. You have to use the chat feature for all questions, comments, and concerns. By being in this meeting, you consent to being recorded. And of course, our recordings will be shared, but not until after the 6th week. And that is for us to be able to get the best of this recording out and to you in due time. Okay, please be respectful to everyone, use office-friendly language, and avoid insultive words to participant or to your facilitator. You don't have to be rude to your facilitator. Okay. So this is a certificate course. So certificate will be issued to participants that complete 4 out of 6 of the classes or 65% of attendance. And yes, so that's for as far as certificates. And if you're a company here and you're looking to solve specific data problems, or you're looking to go on a digital journey, and you're looking for that digital partner, that IT partner that can get you to where you want, Reliance Info Systems is just for you. Lastly, the prerequisite to this training, for those of us just joining us, you have to have basic knowledge of HR and HR concepts and terminologies. You have to have familiarity with Microsoft Excel, ability to commit 2 hours. We mentioned this already. A PC with minimum 4 GB of RAM and 250 gigabytes of disk space, and of course the ability to have Microsoft Excel or Power BI and Power BI installed on your machine. And I remain your humble facilitator. My name once again is Fatai Sani. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a Microsoft certified data analyst. I currently lead the business or the data strategy and business intelligence team here at Reliance Info Systems, and I've helped the company facilitate a number of data-driven decision making for our clients and customers. And of course, you can be one of them. Very quickly, I'm going to share my screen now, and then we get to the real business of the day. Please, if you are as excited as I am to get started, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, everyone. Okay, interesting. A lot of people are not excited. Well, it's fine. We'll get used to it. We'll warm up to it. Okay. Yes. Okay, so I'm sharing my other screen right now. Who remembers what we have on the screen right now? Does this look familiar? Right? This is our favorite. This is our favorite Covenant HR case study. Remember where we started from. business case. Okay, so this is an email from the HR director in Covenag. Her name is Janet. And of course, she sent a mail to the HR specialist or HR analytics specialist in the firm. So the email says, Dear Anne, we're currently preparing for the board review meeting next week. The HR team has been asked to come up with a report of our talent management. As the HR analyst, you have been tasked with exploring our HR database and extracting some insights that can help management make some strategic decisions leading into the next financial year. Executive management will be most interested to have in having visibility into the following KPIs. They want to know our current staff strengths, gender distribution of our workforce, the visa status of our employees, the aging workforce analysis, the current wage bill for all staff, the hiring sources that are most effective, which should be discontinued, and also how has the hiring trended over time and what are the particular insights that we can glean from that. And Janet also went to say it would be nice to have this as an interactive dashboard so different managers and department heads can filter the report as they deem fit. Okay, so we started creating. So this is the end goal of where we are going. We're to build this HR dashboard in Excel or this talent dashboard in Excel that, of course, will different managers, remember, can filter, and of course it will give corresponding reports or results as expected. So this is the end goal. And what did we do, or where did we stop last week? We started creating the pivot tables. Let me show you so that you can see. We started creating the pivot tables. Where is it? This is it. Okay, we started creating the pivot tables that will allow us answer these questions. We did a very short crash course on Excel functions. After then, we introduced to pivot tables, and of course, we started analyzing the data and answering the questions that we wanted to ask or to answer. So this is where we stopped last week. For the benefit of those joining us for the first time, I'm going to be dropping the link of this case study in the chat. However, it has been updated to this point, right? So if you downloaded this last week, you will not have all the pivot tables. So if you followed us last week and you've been able to replicate this on your end, you don't need to re-download this. One second. You don't need to re-download this case study. But if you're joining for the first time and you want to follow along, I'm going to be pasting the link to the document in the chat. Okay. I'll also try to pin it to the top so that anybody just joining us can easily pick this and work with us. So like I said, if you've downloaded the version from last week, don't bother downloading again, right? But if you're just joining for the first time, please download this and then follow along. Okay. Yes, I want to believe we can get started. What did we do so far? We answered the question about total employees. We answered the question about the total salaries. We had the breakdown of our employees by gender. Okay. We also got the visa status of our employees, which ones are eligible, which ones are non-eligible citizens. And we were able to group the data by age. I think I saw a question around grouping. Let me see. So someone said when he started grouping the data, the grouping is coming up in decimal form, which is making the grouping difficult. If that is the case, my best guess is that if you have decimals on your age, my best guess is that you did not use the formula that we used in here to remove decimals from age. Remember, we wrote a measure. We wrote a measure in F2. I'm going to drop the measure in the chat. All right, this was the, I said measure. We wrote the formula rather. This was the formula we wrote in O2, right, to get information or to be able to get our age from the date of birth, and also to only get the integers and take away the fractions. So our age is not supposed to have any fraction. So if you're currently facing this, try to check your formula and be sure that you removed the decimal. Just reducing the decimal point from here will not suffice. You have to actually write the formula to remove the decimal. Excuse me. All right. So what is the next thing that we need to do? I'm going to delete this here. Okay. We need to add 2 more pivot tables. All right. The other 2 pivot tables we need to add are set to answer the question. We don't have any departmental breakdown here. Remember that we need to be able to filter this data by department. So for me to do this, I can copy any of the pivot tables. Let me try to copy this one. Okay. Remember, to copy a pivot table, to recreate a pivot table, you just need to copy the old one, Control C, and then you paste this pivot table, Control V, somewhere else. Okay. I'm going to expand this for me to see. Now, I want to be able to show employee breakdown by department. So what do I need to do? I'm sure this is old knowledge at this point. On the rows, I currently have recruitment source. I'm going to take that out. I'm going to leave my count of employees as it is. What I just need to look for is my department, okay, which is here. I want to show the departmental breakdown. Okay, so I can pull the department and of course bring it here. Okay, so very simple. I can see admin office 9 staff, executive office 1 staff, IT office 50, production 209, sales 31, software engineering 11. You can decide to sort it if you for better visibility. Okay, so this is the information about this. Also, we also want to show the breakdown of the same departmental by the age bill. It would be nice to see what is the wage bill, the breakdown. So I'm going to copy, I've copied the pivot table once again, and I've pasted it. This time, instead of number of employees, I don't want to see this. What I want to see is what? I'm going to remove number of employees. What I want to see is what? The salary column. Okay. So very easily, I can pull the salary and pull it into values. Remember, all of this should be proprietary knowledge at this point. So just pull the salary into the values. Remember, in pivot tables, you're dragging the categorical values into rows or columns, and then you are dragging the numerical or the aggregate values as you want to put it into values. Okay, so here we have the staff or the department and the salary. You can decide to format your values and put a comma. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to go to home. I'm going to click a comma, and then I remove the decimal places. Okay, very good. So you can see that the production department, of course, is getting the most of the wage bill, which of course is expected because they have 209 staff members. Okay, now we are done with analysis per se. And one person may say, yeah, the job is done. I can copy this or I can send this to whoever needs it. But no, we don't do that. Remember when we talked about the data or the HR analytics process? one of the things we mentioned, or one of the things we talked about, is what? Presentation and communication of insights. Okay, what we have done, remember this was the steps, or these are the stages we followed. I'm going to make this here. We'll define the objectives, right? We collected the data, we did data preparation, we did data analysis. Now we want to do two things, 5 and 6 together. Interpretation of the data by visuals, and of course, communicate our findings. And last week I mentioned that it's important to know what the best way to communicate your data. There are some people, they just want this data like this, you send it to them, easy peasy lemon squeeze. For some others, they want it as an interactive dashboard, just like Janet asked. For some other people, they want it in PowerPoint slide, which is really easy if you ask me. So if your boss is the PowerPoint, or you want to put this in a presentation slide, very simple. All you need to do is you go to PowerPoint. Let's say I'm going to create a new file here, a new blank presentation. Let's say this is on your, letterhead, or on your company branded PowerPoint. So one by one, we can do, let's say I want to first start with this. I can highlight this, I can insert, say a pie chart, for example. Then I can copy this pie chart and I can paste it in the PowerPoint, okay? Paste it in PowerPoint. There's actually a very deep level of connectivity between Microsoft Word and PowerPoint. So this data as it is right now is responsive. So if I go to chart design, for example, and I see edit data, you will see that it's linking me back into the Excel file that I have, okay? So you can either build a chart in there, or you just come here, you insert a chart. Let's say insert a column chart. Okay, it's going to, of course, ask you for your data. Okay, so how do you get the data? So you can see you have an Excel data sheet open up here. You can come back into your Excel, right? Let me delete this. You can come back into Excel, copy this, okay? Copy this, go back into PowerPoint and paste, okay? Or now I just need to adjust this so that all of these are not confusing. Remove this, and of course, remove this as well. I can decide to rename this as female and rename this as male. Okay, so very beautifully, you see that I have a chart up. So if I then want to have a write-up, I can come in here and then I can insert a text box here to then say our employee breakdown, blah, 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 is this, okay? And with this, very easy. If you want to be extra, you can insert a maybe shape in the background here, and of course, add your comments to this, okay? Add comments to this. I'm going to, right click this and send to back. Yeah, so you can see employee, maybe make this a white font or something. Okay, white font. So you can start typing your explanations here. Okay, and you can continue to do this maybe one page after the other, and of course till you're done. Okay, the only challenge is that with this approach is this is very good if you have a one-off presentation, you're preparing for a meeting and so on. You can use the PowerPoint. But in the use case where you have, say, meetings every Monday, or maybe first week of the month or something, and you don't want to keep repeating this task over and over again, you don't want to keep designing PowerPoint. This is where a dashboard in Excel comes in, because all of the data are here, and your dashboard will be here as well. So if any data changes, all you need to do is right click and refresh your data. Or sorry, you can just come to this should be under, this should be under pivot chart analyze. If any new data comes in or the next meeting comes in, you just need to go to pivot chart analyze and refresh your data, and all the latest data comes in. So that is why, that is a scenario where a pivot table, or sorry, dashboard may win over doing that in PowerPoint. So ladies and gentlemen, let's get started with the dashboard. So we have a business case sheet, we have a data sheet, and we have an analysis sheet. The next thing we want to create is our dashboard. So I'm going to come here and click on this plus sign for new sheets. Okay, I'm going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to name this sheet my dashboard. This is the first thing to do. Oh, they said the name is already taken. Okay, close that. Well, you can name your own dashboard. I'm just going to put dashboard 2. I don't know why mine is, say my name is taken. Maybe I have some hidden sheets in there. So this is the first thing that we have. But now you notice that this is still giving us the Excel feel. We have the same Excel interface with grid lines and everything. So the first thing we need to do is to turn this into a canvas. All right. So we need to get rid of these grid lines. You know, the same grid lines that you are accustomed with in Excel. Let me zoom in so that I can see it very well. All of these grid lines we need to get rid of. How do you do that? You go to the View tab. Okay. Go to the View tab, and then you see under Show, you can turn off your grid lines. Okay. You turn off grid lines. So if I turn this off, you can see now I have what looks like a canvas. All right. I have a canvas that I can start using to build my dashboard. There are no more Excel grid lines. If you want to take, if you're a pro and you want to take it a step further, you can even turn off the headers and turn off your formula bar. So now you just have, this is not looking like Excel anymore. You can see I've taken away all the rows and the columns, and I've also taken away the headers. But I mean, let's take it a step at a time. Let's bring those ones back, because it's going to guide us on how to build our report. So I'm going to bring the headings back, and I'm going to bring the formula bar back. But for you, you can just go to View and just turn off the grid lines. So grid lines, that's the first. The next thing is to select a paper size or a sheet size for our dashboard. Okay. For most people, you can just start building your dashboard here without any stress, right? However, if you say the end goal is to export this to maybe PDF or to export it to PowerPoint and the like, you may want to choose a standard paper size that would be easy to be exported to another application. So what do you do in this scenario? You go to page layout. Okay. You go to page layout. I hope someone is writing this down. The first thing is to create the dashboard sheet. The second thing is to turn off the grid lines. The third one is to then create the paper size. So first off, I want to select a paper size. So I'm going to go to size. I can decide to choose letter A4, but I find out A3 works best for me. So I'm going to choose A3. Okay. And once you choose A3, you see there is like there are some breaking lines that allows you to distinguish where your paper size is. But you can see that this is in portrait mode, and I don't want my dashboard to be in portrait mode. In my own, I'm highlighting so you can see this is my page 1. So if you build anything here, everything will be in page 1, right? If you build it here, it's going to be in page 2. So I want to turn this into a landscape. I'm going to go back to page layout. I'm now going to go to orientation and change to landscape. So now, if I zoom out a little, you can see that this is now the area. You can see this. I hope you can see these grid lines. I hope it's not too faint. This is the area I have to play with to build my dashboard if I want it to be on a single page, right? I'm not saying if you build your dashboard across 2 pages, it's not nice, all right? But again, the problem is once you export the data to another sheet, okay? Let me give you a very brief example. Let's say I want to, let me just insert some shapes. So I'm gonna come here, insert shapes. So let's say I build my dashboard controls. You can see, let's say I build my dashboard like this. Okay, so you can see everything so far here is on a single page, right? Let's just imagine this is what I've built. Everything is on a single page. If I come to maybe file and I want to print this, or I want to save to PDF or whatever, you can see that I got everything on one page, on a single page. Now imagine if I have something like this that spills over into this other page, okay? And I want to print this, or I want to export to PDF or something. If I do the same thing and I say print, can you see what happens? This has now been truncated. So I have to scroll to page 2 for me to see the other completing part. So that is why setting your paper size is important. But if you want to keep your analysis in Excel and you want to make use of decision space, so please feel free to do that without selecting a paper size, okay? So now what I did, again, to go over it again, the first thing I did when I got here was to go to view, turn off my grid lines. The next thing was to go to page layout, okay? I set my paper size to A3. I set my orientation to landscape, okay? So now I have all this to play with. Some other people would just now decide to use, is it this big page view to, no, let's just stick with the normal regular Excel size, okay? So now just know that all your reports should not be more than this, okay? Now let's go back to analysis. So the next thing is we need to turn all of this into charts, okay? And this is the easiest part of the exercise. What do? I like the data. This is what we want to start with. I like the data and go to insert, go to charts, all right? So currently mine is under insert and under charts. So you can choose from a number of charts you have in here. There are some charts that work best with certain analysis, all right? So there is a lesson on how to use the proper charts, but I don't want us to get into that, okay? For now, we're just going to use a pie chart or a donut chart for our male to female ratio, our gender distribution. Okay, so I'm going to click on the donut. All right. What do I do after here? I can cut this, Control X, or right click and cut. Where is cut? Come to dashboard and dump it here. For now, we are not doing anything. We are just dumping it here. Okay. We go back to analysis. Our second visual. This is it. Eligible, the visa status. Highlight, insert, charts. For this one, we can use let's use a column chart. Okay. Select this one, cut it, Control X, come to dashboard and paste this here. Okay. That's chart number 2. We go back to analysis. Let's do this one. Right, highlight, insert, charts. This one we can do a bar chart. And the reason, again, like I said, there is a lesson. If you want to know what are some of the chart types, or maybe if I lay my hands on it, there are some blog posts or PDF or videos that basically show what kind of charts are best for something. Like, for example, the one that is very obvious is if you want to do any trend analysis, all right, any trend analysis that maybe look into dates or year, line charts are always best for that. So you don't use a line chart for something like this. this is not the best visual for this, because when people see lines, they see trends. They see something that either was bad before and is good now, or was good before and is bad now. So if I see a line chart, the thing that is coming into my head is, oh, indeed was previously good, and it kept on declining till it gets to online web or other, which is not what you want to communicate. But if you want to compare categorical values, the best chart is to use either a column chart or a bar chart. Okay, but in our case, we can also not use a column chart. The reason for this is this. If we decide to go for column chart here, you can see that for some of these names, you need to bend your head for you to be able to read them, which is not good, and it's not the best practice. So here, going for something like this, a bar chart is the right approach to use. Don't worry about how this is sorted for now. We're going to fix it. For now, I'm just going to cut this, go to dashboard and paste this. Okay, so we have 3 visuals already. Let's go back to analysis. For this one, we want to look at this also. Department, employees by department. We go to insert. Okay, we go to visual or charts, and then we can also use a clustered bar chart for this. Okay, again, don't worry about the sorting, right? This we will fix later. Control X, take it, dump it here. Okay, let's go back to analysis. We highlight this again. This one, the same visual, but this time we want to look at the salaries. Okay, insert, chart, and of course a 2D bar chart. Again, please, I'm begging you with all the minds that I have, avoid using 3D charts in visuals. Okay, except you are building maybe charts or visual for cartoons or children that you want to make easy for them to read. 3D charts don't communicate anything. They are fine, right? But they don't communicate any insight. And it is not considered best practice to use a 3D visual. When I see this a lot, especially for beginners trying to analyze, we feel like maybe just putting in all the swag make our report much more impactful. No, that is not true. So stay away from 3D charts, please. Okay, go back to insert. And then, of course, pie chart is another chart that people abuse a lot. So you see something like this, and then someone does this. Again, this is not the best way to visualize something like this. When you are in doubt, stay with a column chart or a bar chart. For most of the visuals, you will not go wrong. When you use bar chart or pie chart, especially when the categories are more than 2 or 3, it makes it difficult to know or to follow. For example, if you want to look at this, so this is software engineering, and especially also for closed figures. Okay, so for example, if I do something here and say this is 51% and this is 49%, okay? If I use something like a pie chart, I come here and insert a pie chart. If you don't know the numbers behind this, sometimes you can hardly tell the figure. Let me make this complicated and make it 3. Let's say this is 33, this is 34, and this is say 33. Okay, 33%. Okay, and this is 32.5%. Okay, let's say 4, and I come here So let's say I like this and inserted a pie chart, okay? If you don't know the data behind this and you just see this chart, it's very difficult for you to know which one has the largest share, which one has the second largest, which one has the third largest, or which one has the fourth largest, all right? And so it is best, again, there are a lot of people that are, there are two types of people when it comes to pie chart, the people who absolutely love it, and then the people who absolutely hate it, okay? So if you're in doubt, again, stay away from pie chart. So for example, let me do this same chart. Let me then now do this, insert, and show it as show it as this. Look at this, for example. You can very easily tell which one is number one, which one is number two, or which ones are number two and which one is number three. So compare this easy way to read this chart with this one. So you can see that sometimes pie charts are not the best things again, the essence of building visuals is for you to answer question and draw insight. It's not for the absolute or the sheer beauty of it, okay? So if it's beautiful and it doesn't communicate anything, then of course that exercise is a waste, okay? So that way, I'm going to delete this. All right, so let's go back to, so again, don't use pie charts for things like this, okay? And then there are also people, there are extreme people that also do this, okay? They do this. So again, don't do this, please. Don't try this. Don't try this at home, all right? So there are best visual 4 different types of charts, okay? Where were we? We're trying to build the first of these dashboards, okay? So here, IT, have we done the one for production? Yes, we have. We're doing the second one, which is this one, okay? So insert a chart, and also we stay with a 2D bar chart here. I'm going to cut it now and paste it here, okay? The next one is let me see the age, okay? Come here, highlight, insert, chart. In this one, we can use a 2D, we can use a 2D column chart, okay? Not 3D, please, not 3D, 2D column chart, okay? Control X, paste it, go to dashboard, paste it here. Okay, let me zoom in this just a little. All right, so we have this. Let's go back to our analysis. Then the final one is our trend. You can highlight this, go to insert. So this one we already know. The best chart for a trend is to use either you stay with a 2D column chart that for someone to easily see the trend and you can see what is going up and what is coming down. Don't use a 2D bar chart, for example, for things like trends. People don't read, it's not easy to read charts like this. Anything that has dates, year, month, anything that will do with time intelligence functions, either you use a line chart is best for this. An aerial chart is best for this. This is an aerial chart, all right? Or you just stick with a column chart. So you can choose any one that you want. In this case, let me go with an area chart, okay? Let me go with an area chart, okay? So let me go with an area chart. Control X and paste it in dashboard, okay? All right, beautiful. Okay, so we have our major charts here. The next thing is let's quickly bring in our total employees and total salaries. Okay, how do I do this? I can, of course, come here, maybe come here and just bring it in and just say, I'm going to write a formula here that says equal to, come here, analysis, and then click on employees, enter. So what this is saying is just go there and return the employees. I'll do that again, equal to, go to the analysis sheet and click on the employee. So 311. So you can just say this is employee count. So what we're just telling Excel, remember when we're doing our cell address and all, what we just did was to just link to that to bring in our. So the next one is salaries or wages, anyhow you want to call it, salaries. So I can come in here and say equal to, go to analysis, click on this, enter. So, and the reason for us linking it into that is when that changes, okay, when there is any change here, that value will also change. For example, let's say I quickly add a filter here for gender. We didn't talk about adding filters to a dashboard, to a pivot table, but you can also add a filter. So if I come in here and I add, say, sex to the filter, and I come in here and I filter for only female. Okay, this changed from 11,009. I'm sorry, this changed from, I forgot what was there before. Let me see, select multiple, check the two. Okay, so this changed from 21.4 million to, if I select for only female, to 11.9. So let's go back to our dashboard and see if that change reflected. Can you see? This is now 11.9. If I come back and change it to 20, to both, okay, you can see that this is also, so that's why, how to make your dashboard interactive. So by making sure that formulas are properly linked, okay? So now we've completed the first half of our dashboard, okay? The second half is how do we now make what is looking like this? How do we make it to look like this? Okay, this is where dashboard design comes in. Okay, the interesting thing is that you don't need to make all of this up by yourself. There are already templates online that you can follow. For example, you can draw inspiration. Let me just bring this in. If you go on Google and you Google dashboard inspiration, okay, you can see over 62 million results of inspirations that you can draw from to create your own dashboard. Let's look at some of them. I'm going to go to images. You can decide to go into, to click on any of those ones, but look at this, right? You can begin to see examples. So if this is a design that you like, maybe it follows your company theme or you want to design your dashboard like this, you can save this. So I'm going to say open image in new tab. Let's just look for some that we like, and then we can open them in new tab. Let's look at this one, right click, open image in new tab. Let me go to another one. Let's say you like dark themed charts, right click, open image in new charts or a new tab. You can scroll down again and again and again and again. I mean, you can, you are limited, you are not limited with the number of inspiration that you can get. So let's look at some of the ones we opened. So look at this one, for example. If you want to design your chart like this, everything here is basically just shapes and colors. For example, these three things that are here, 1, 2, 3, let's quickly do a quick example. Let's say this is how we want to design our dashboard, for example. What is it? What do we need to do? We want to create a shape here and we want to create these three. So if you come to Excel, and let me just quickly open a new tab, go to view, and what's it called? Remove grid lines. So basically we really just have insert, shapes, insert a shape with rounded corners. So they are like this, 1, Control D, 2, Control D, 3, okay? And then we have one line going like this on the left. So we have insert, shapes, and maybe something like this on the left, okay? Something like this on the left, okay? Now, very easy. So let's even now check what color is this. I don't know what this color is, right? So there, of course, there's another site you can go to get colors, but let me just quickly show you a quick way to get your colors. Right click this. I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to go to PowerPoint. Let's say you really love that color and that is what you want to stay with. Control V. Okay, this is the same dashboard that I saw. This is it here in Excel. So I come here, let me duplicate this in 3 ways. These are the 3. Now I want to be able to get this color. I can click on this first chart. If I right click here and I go to, or here, if I click on this visual, I go to shape format. All right, shape format, shape fill. I want to give this shape a color. I can use this tool called eyedropper. It's found in PowerPoint to check a color and replicate that color. Similar to, it's just like a chameleon. Just pick a shape and then it gives you that shape. You can see that is the color that is in there. The second one, shape fill, eyedropper, this color. The third one, shape fill, eyedropper, this color. So you can see in very simple steps, I already got the colors that were used for this. How do I then replicate it? So if I right click here and I go to shape fill once again, and I go to more fill colors, I can see this is the X code. For those of you that are good with colors, this is the X code of this particular color. All I just need to do is to copy this and I can use it anywhere else. Or let's say you have, let's say this is the branding of your company and you want to select, you want to use the color in your visual and you don't know you don't know the exact color. There are some, even if it's red, there are different shades of red. If it's blue, you want to get the exact shape. So you can just copy your company logo. Like for example, let me do something for Reliance Info System. So I'm going to come in here. Let's say I want to design a dashboard for Reliance Info System and I want my theme systems logo. Okay. And I want my dashboard to follow the theme of this is Reliance Info Systems, by the way, just in case you want to see what our logo looks like. It's pretty, isn't it? Okay, so right click here, or let's say I want to open image in new tab. I come in here, I'm going to copy this. All right, I'm going to paste it here. Just paste it anywhere here, Control V. So now I want to know the exact color of this red. Just click on this, a shape, go to shape format, shape fill, and I want to use this eyedropper tool. I can just select the color. So now I can see this is the red, Reliance Info Systems. How do I then know what the X code is? I go back to shape fill, I go to more fill colors, and then I can see the X code here. So the X code is C70, blah, 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 blah. Copy this. Let's say I want to now use this in another tool like this. Right click, you can format this shape. Okay, go to fill. Under solid fill, you can click on the drop down. You can go to more colors. All you just need to do is to paste this same code here. Okay, and you can see in very 2 simple steps, I have replicated the same color that is on the Reliance logo. Okay, for those people that want to, so if I bring this close to it so that you can see that this is no fluke, so you can see that the red matches that red here. Okay, so I was talking about where to get inspiration. So you can see what you've done here is just get the shapes, you can get the color, and then you can start designing your dashboard to look like this. Or you want your dashboard to look like this. Very simple. I can quickly design this for you to see in two simple steps. Go to PowerPoint again, Control N, click on a new, let's say I want to open a new sheet. Okay. Now, what is the first thing I see here? Not this one. We see that there is a gray. So let me just copy this. Let me copy this image. Go back into, let's say, PowerPoint. You can also do this in Excel. I'm just going to use PowerPoint for ease. So this is what I want to replicate. So first, I see that there's a background. Okay, this is my background in PowerPoint. I can right-click this, format background. Okay, what is the color of my background? Okay, come here, eyedropper. This is my background color. You can see. That's the first step. The second thing is there is a round shaped background again. That's just a simple shape. Come here, insert, go to shapes, go to a rounded shape. So I'm going to draw my shape. I think it starts, oh, sorry. This shape starts here. It starts, okay, a shape like this. And adjust the borders to give me this. Okay. What is the color of this shape? It's this color. So click on this, under solid fill, select your eyedropper tool, and I'm going to click on the color here. You can see this is coming together. Then there is now a white, background. Okay. This is another similar shape. So I can just copy this and paste this. This time I just want to paste color is white. Okay, so reduce this here and here. So you can see that in very simple steps, I have replicated the background, at least of what we have in here. You can see. The next thing is, I want to start design. Okay, there's another shape here that goes all the way. Come in here, insert the shape for this. Okay, and you start building the dashboard. Okay, and the color to this is the same thing using the eyedropper and select this. So very gradually, under 2 seconds, at least I've replicated this background. The whole point of all of this is you don't need to come up with all of this inspiration from scratch, okay? You can also always go for dashboard inspiration online and use previously designed dashboard as your own inspiration. I've taught you how to quickly recreate any design or color that you see online, okay? If you also want to get colors that are very good, that are going with each other, you can also go to a website called colors.co. Okay. Colors.co allows you to select colors that are complementary, and you can use this for your own dashboard design. So let's explore trending colors. All right. Color is a very important factor in your dashboard design. As a point of note, don't use more than 3 colors. All right. 2 to 3 colors is ideal in your dashboard. Don't design rainbow dashboards. Okay, please. You don't want to use 4, 5, 6, 7 colors and you just make everything look really weird. Okay, and don't use too much bright color. Like for example, I'm most likely not going to use a combination of these colors on a dashboard because they are just not going to sit well. When in doubt, go for monochrome colors or colors that are that are similar, and then you can use. So you can decide to use any of these. How do you use any of these colors? You just copy them. What you are seeing here are the X code, and I already told you how to bring in Xcode into your dashboard. So let's go back to our Excel sheet, okay? This is what we have in mind that we want to design. So the very first thing is, let's quickly clean up the design. So we've chosen a design. We just need to now fit in our design into what we need. So we identified that we want our this to be here, okay? We want this to be here. I'm just trying to format it. And then we want let me see. We want the workforce age bracket to be here. So I'm going to bring this here. Okay. The next thing is we want to bring the employees. Put this side by side. We'll do the cleanup later. Okay. Then we want to put in the sources, HR sources. We want to put it somewhere here. Okay. And this is where we want to put this finally. Okay. So we have this. This is the first. So we've just done the arrangement. Now, there's so much noise on this dashboard, and that is the next thing we want to clean. Okay. We want to make it easy, friendly, and not too much distraction. Okay. So how do we do it? There are easy ways to go about it. Let me just take this out of the way. Okay. So the first thing is we want to give it a proper befitting, or give it a befitting title. So we can call this maybe employee gender distribution or something, gender distribution. Okay. We want to remove this thing that says employee here. So I'm just going to right click this and say hide all field buttons on chart. Okay. Hide all field buttons on chart. I'm going to remove that. Okay. So now we have this. So the next thing is, let's now add our data labels here. Instead of putting it on the right, let's put it somewhere here. So I can right click on this and say add data labels. So can you see? Add data labels. Okay. I'm going to click this to add my data labels. It currently added the data label on the chart itself. Okay. So what can I do? I'm going to click on these values, right click on the values and say format data labels. Okay. I'm going to click on format data labels. So now I want to show the let's just say I want to show the figures and the percentage. Okay. I want to show the figures. I want to show the percentage. Let's say I also want to show the category name. So which one is male, which one is female, then what are the numbers and what are the percentage? Okay. Let me zoom in for better visibility. Once this is done, I can, okay, so before moving on, another thing I can do is where do I want to place this? Okay, I can decide to not put it on the visual or on the chart itself. Okay, I can decide to place it somewhere else, let's say outside or beside the visual. So what do? I can then move 1 second. Okay. Okay, I'll talk about this later. For now, let's leave it like this. Then I want to remove this legend because it's distracting at this point, so I can remove this. Okay, let's say, for example, this charts are too slim, so I may want to close this circle a little. So what do I do? Right click the visual itself, or right click the visual, say format data series now. So if you click on this, you see I can reduce the donut hole. Okay. Oh, that's too much, too much, too much. Okay. So here we have it. So that's the very first thing to do. Now, we also want to change these colors. We're not interested in using these colors. So remember, on the collaterals, we have the colors already chosen for us. Okay, so let's say these are the two colors we want to use for male and female. So the first one is this. So I can copy this. Okay, come back to dashboard. Now I can select the first for male. Okay, go to format on your right, go to solid fill. Okay, and then I can go to more colors and I can paste my color here. It's already pasted for me, but I can do that again. Okay, that's the color for male. Can click on the second half of the donut now. I go to collaterals again. This is the color I want to use for female. Ctrl C, go back to the dashboard, click on this, right click, format data points. Okay, go to format painter, I go to solid fill, and that color that I copied is already painted for me. But if you want to learn about how to do it, you can paste this here again. Okay, so that's the very first half of the job. Let's quickly move on because of time. I want to do the same thing for the second report, or for the second visual. First step, right click, hide all field buttons on chart. Okay, remove this legend because it's not doing any work. Okay, let's change the total to employee visa status. Visa status. Okay, let's add data labels. Right click, add data labels. Okay, so we see 12, 4, 295. After adding data labels, these axes are no longer important. So we can click on them and delete. Also, these lines, we can delete. Okay, makes it easy to look at our report. So we see eligible non-citizens are 12, non-citizens are 4, and then 295 are US citizens. Here, we just need to select the color for them. So to do this, we select this color. You can see fill is already highlighted for us. So let's say let's go to the collateral, the colors for this. We can choose whether from this or this. Let's say we want to use this. Okay, so we copy the code. Okay. 1 second, I'm not able to copy that. Then we see, I can't copy that. Let me just type it 15616D. Okay, so this is the color. Come in here, come to the fill, go to more colors, and it is what? 15615D. Okay. Okay. That is the color. Let me be sure I got that correctly. 15616D. Let me see. 15616D. We go back. 15616D. Okay, this is the color. Okay, so we are done here. Let's quickly move on to the next. So here you can see the way this is looking. Right click, hide all field buttons on chart. remove the legend, right? Right click, add data labels, right? The next thing, once we've added data label, this is no longer important. And this is no longer important as well. And we can name this, whether you want to call it aging analysis, whether you want to call it, just going to call it workforce age analysis. Okay. Let's quickly select the color for this as well. So I click on the bars, right click on the bars, format data series, go to the visualization, change the colors. So the colors are already here, so there's no point trying to copy the codes anymore. So this is the color we're using. So just paste it here. Let's go to the right. Okay. Now we want to look at employees by what? By department. So the number of employees. First thing first, right click, hide all field buttons on chart. Those are pivot table buttons. We don't need them, so we can remove them. Remove the legend. Okay. Right click the bars and add data labels. Once you've added data labels, the next thing we can, so let's sort this the proper way. So we can sort it from the pivot table. We can also sort it here. Let's sort it from the pivot table. So I can come back in here and sort on the pivot table. This is it. We can right click here and say sort smallest to largest. Okay. We come back and it is sorted. Okay. Let me see if, yeah, still questions. Okay. So what we have in here, someone said, can you do this on Canva? Absolutely, you can. You can use any, currently we are doing dashboard design in Excel. You can also design your backgrounds in Canva and just bring it in, but that's really advanced for this class. So everything we are doing is in Excel for now. If you want to take it a step further, you can do this in Canva if you want. Delete this, remove the axis, and let me align this to our previous chart. Okay, so bring this close to this and also make it the same height and length. Let's change the colors. Okay, let's change our colors. This time we want to change the colors to the, let's change it to, okay, we don't have that in copy. So let's go to our collaterals. Let's use this color instead. Okay, Control C, go to dashboard 2, select, format, change your color, more colors, Control A, Control V. Okay, so that is the color here. If you like, you can give this a border just so that it's more visible. So if you say border, you want to use a solid color and you want to use, say, this as a border. Okay, so you can do this as well. So same thing for this. Okay, the same thing we did. This is the same chart, but now instead of number of employees, we have what? We have the number of the salary per department. Okay, right click, hide all field buttons on chart, remove our legend. Okay, and add data label. Right click, add data labels. Okay, we can then remove this axis. All right, I remove this axis. Now let's sort this. So I can go back to analysis, scroll down, right click, sort smallest to largest. Go back to dashboard. Now it's properly sorted. But these numbers are not looking pretty. So we need to do something about it. Either we give it more space or we modify the way they look. First off, let me change the colors to this. So come in here, can change this as the color. Then for borders, I leave this as the borders. So I click on the data labels now, and I can tell where the data labels should be. So I want the data label to say be at the center or inside end, okay? And let's say I want the number to, so currently this text is wrapped. Let's say I want everything to be on the same line. So I'm going to come here under size and properties, and I'm going to unwrap this. So everything on the same line, easy to read. Okay. So I can say departmental employees in each department, or employees by department. Okay. And I can come here to see salaries by department. Okay. Our dashboard is coming together. If I zoom out, you can see what we've achieved so far. Can you see? You can see that we are getting there. Okay, let's quickly clean these other two visuals. Okay. Come here. The same thing we've done. Let's align this properly. Okay, align this here. Now, the first thing, right click, hide all field buttons on charts, remove the legend, right click and add what? Data labels. Remove then the axis, remove the lines. Okay. And I can come here and say best hiring sources or something. Sources. Okay. It's sorted the wrong way, so I can go to analysis, and where is it? Yeah, here it is. Right click, sort, smallest to largest. So you sort it the other way. So if I come back here, it's properly sorted. Okay. I can leave this color, or now let's do something. Let's paint everything, because the question says which are the best. If we go back to the business case, under hiring sources, say which of our hiring sources are most effective and which should we discontinue. So we can sort of highlight or which one. So let's say we paint everything the same color. Then we can highlight which ones are the top best colors. So click them one by one. Or first off, let me reduce the gap width. So you know that you can also reduce the gap width so that it's closer to each other. Okay. All right. So next, we want to change the colors of maybe the best, or yeah, we can change the colors of the top 5 or something. So here, you can also change the colors one after the other. Here, so let's just say these are the top, is it 5 or top 6? Now, if we need to discontinue any of our hiring sources, we should discontinue the online web application. We should discontinue maybe the other sources, and of course the hiring on the website. Perhaps there's money that goes into those, but our best hiring sources are Indeed, LinkedIn, Google Search, and the likes. Okay, let's look at the last visual here. So the last visual here, we have this. So the first thing, right click, hide all field buttons on chart, remove the legend, remove the axis as well, and possibly remove the lines. So click on this visual, right? You can also do something here. You can make the edges. So instead of showing this as so you can change this, the joint type 1 second to smoothed lines. One second. Let me quickly grab that. So you can change this from let me change my visual to should be able to do this with a line chart. I just want to show you something. I can change this chart type now. Let's say I want to change it to a line. Okay, let's say I'm changing this to a line chart. So now I can say if I click on this, if I click on the line, right, I can change my line from this straight line to a smoothed lines. All right, so it can give me this view of my trend lines, and I can as well change the color to something like this. Okay, so let me zoom out. Let's see what we have achieved so far. Okay, so can you see? This is what we've achieved so far. All right. Now, let's say we want to add in our employee count, salaries, and the likes. There are different ways we can do this. We can decide to create a an header line, or we can decide to put it on the right-hand side here. In our own case, we want to put it on the right-hand side. So let me create some space for it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert a shape. Okay, I'm going to insert a shape. Okay, so let's come in here, insert a shape. So let's go for this shape that has a curved edge and a flat, a curved top, and then a flat bottom. So I can rotate this to the left because I want to have this here and draw this down. Okay, so this is where I want to put all my everything concerning the logo of the business, and as well things like employee count and so on and so forth. So I can adjust this to give it some I can adjust this to give it some space. So the first thing, let's say I want to have my logo here, very simple. Go to collaterals, copy, Ctrl C, come in here, Ctrl V, drop my logo here. You can see. So the next thing is I want to add my employee count and salary. So come here, I can insert another shape. Okay, let's say insert another shape like this. Okay, can insert another shape like this. Okay, so we're going to change the feel of our shape. There are different ways to change the shape. You can change it here under shape format. You can change it on your right hand side. Anyway, we select one of the previous colors that we have used. We can remove the borders, so no outline on the borders. So now we just want to add in, so pay attention. We want to add our employee count in here. Okay, So this is how to go about it. We want to link it. We want to link our employee counts to this. So I'm going to click on the shape, right? I'll click on the shape, then I'll go into the formula bar. I'm not going to write in here. I'm going to go into the formula bar and I'm going to say equal to this, equal to D1. Okay, enter. Can you see that my figure is here? Let me do that again. Ctrl Z. I'll click on the shape. You go into the formula bar. All right. You click on equal to, and you click on the number of employees. Enter. You go to where this was written before. So here we have 311. Okay, let's format it. We go to home. We format it. We can centralize. We put this in the center. Okay, and we can increase this font. Okay, increase a little, and then we can change the font color itself to this color. Okay, very good. This is for employees. So let's add a title. So I can quickly add another shape. Insert shape. Let's say a round shape as well. Put a small title here. Okay, maybe make it a little big. Let's say the color I want for this is the same yellow, and then I want this as the borders. Okay, so here I can just say number of employees It's currently white, you can't see it, so I'm going to change that. Go to home, change the font color to this. Why is the font color refusing to change? Okay, beautiful. So, number of employees, let's centralize it. Let's centralize it, take it to the middle, and give it some space at the bottom. Okay, see how we did this? Very simple. Number of employees, 311, and everything here is linked to that total figures. Okay, let's do for salaries as well. Okay, so we can copy this, right? Click on this, Control click on the second one, Control C, Control V. Let me see, did I copy it? Yes, I did. Okay, bring it here. I'm going to bring it down. Let's say what I want to have in here is just salaries. So I'm just going to say Control A, I'm going to say salaries. Right, I'm going to click on this. So I'm going to change the formula in this now. I'm going to change the formula. So I'm going to delete this. Remember, you have to write the formula in the formula bar. So I'm going to say equal to the salary selected in here in D2. Enter. So here you see, this is my salary. Let me format this properly. I'm going to go to home. I'm going to click on comma, right? And I'm going to remove the decimal places. Okay. So you can see as I change it here, it's also changed here as well. Home. I can increase the font size. Okay. This is the font size. I can also switch the color to this as well. Okay. So what else do I want to do? Let's say I also want to add other information. Okay. Or let's leave it like this for now. Or let's look at, okay, so what is our average? Let's add something else here to say, what is the average age of our workforce? Control C, Control V. Right? So this is average workforce age. Okay, so we want to check the average age of the workforce. Okay, how do I do this? This is very simple. Go back to analysis. Okay, We forgot to do this at first, so we can come here, copy any of this. Let me copy this, Ctrl C. Let me paste it here. Okay. Now we go back to pivot table. All right. Pivot table, I'm going to remove employees and I'm going to drag my age here. My age. What's my right age? I think this is it. Okay. But instead of sum, you remember what I told you? We're not doing a sum of age. Drop down, value field settings, average. We want to take the average age. Okay. So the average age is 44 years. Okay. So I'm going to remove all the decimal places. So the average age of the workforce is this. Okay, let's go back to dashboard. Let's first bring it in here. Let's just say average, or let's say average workforce age. Workforce age. So we first say equal to, we'll bring it in from here, enter. So this is 44.7. I'm going to remove all the decimal places. Okay, 44.7. So let's bring it here. Average age of my workforce. So delete all this, equal to 44. This, very easy. So you see, so now I have it here, average age. Let me increase the size of this so that we can see it. If you miss any part of this, remember the recording is going to be available. I'm also going to be sharing, should we share it? I'm also going to be sharing the completed dashboard. I'm not sure yet if we should share it. I want you to try to build this on your own, right? It may not be exactly as perfect, but when you try it, you are more likely going to run into errors. And of course, you can check on Google to fix it, or when the recording is available, you can fix it yourself. The most important thing is that when you try this, the more you try, the more you know, the more you learn about how to do it. And then the more you get better at analyzing HR data. So you can see we have been able to quickly summarize these our dashboards into this. Okay, now let's do the headers. So I can quickly copy this, all of this. I don't need them anymore, but I cannot delete them. So what I can do is to just maybe use a white, just paint it as white so that it's there, but I really can't see it. Okay, so that's that. So now I need to do the header. All right, so just add a header. So that one is very simple. You can insert a text box. Okay, go to Insert tab on Excel and insert a text box. Where do we find a text box? Here. Insert a text box, put it all the way like this. Again, this design is just a design that I've chosen. If you want to choose another design, please feel free. Check Excel dashboard inspirations. Try to answer Janet's question using your own unique designs. If you get to do this, you can please tag Reliance Info Systems on LinkedIn. Let us see what you come up with. Let us see those beautiful designs or those beautiful dashboard that you were able to complete. Okay, so I have a text box here and I can just type in CovNag. Let's call it HR talent dashboard. Okay, it's small, so we need to make it big. So I'm going to select the visual. I'm going to go to home. I can centralize it. I can increase the font and I can paint it this color. It's coming together. You can see it's coming together. Okay, so let's say we keep this here. There's also something else. We also want to talk about the insights that we generate from here. Okay, so there are different places you can decide to put the insights. You can, for example, I can insert another shape here. Let me insert another text box just to talk about the insights here. So I'm just going to keep this here. In the meantime, the shape, let me choose this as the shape color. We will come back to filling this insights. Okay, our dashboard is gradually coming together. Okay, so let's quickly do some alignments. Okay, since we still have some space here, I can come in here, I can put this here as well. Can close this for now. All right, so let me reduce this a little. Let me reduce this a little as well. Okay, now aligning, what we're trying to do now is to align our visuals. Okay, so come in here, I'm going to put this way, make sure that they are perfect. Okay, it's really important we do this. Okay, then you come in here, let's reduce the height of this, or let's leave this like this, and we can move this here like this. I have to reduce the width of this a little. All right, adjust the width of this a little as well. And I can make this a little smaller, get here. So I can have more space to add my insights. Okay, so here is going to be where we are going to put the summary of what our dashboard is saying. You don't just want to leave this like this and expect anybody to figure it out. You want to be able to summarize what your dashboard is saying. So we'll come back and fill this in later. Now, remember, what we just did is a static dashboard. We need to do something that makes our dashboard interactive. Okay, and this is where what we call a slicer comes in Power BI. Let me show you what a slicer does. I'm going to come to analysis. Okay, I'm going to choose any of these. Remember, the requirement says that you want each department to be able to filter their data by themselves. Okay, so I want to insert a filter for each department. All right, I want to insert a filter for each department. What do I need to do? I can right click on any of the visuals here currently, and I can go to, or I can right click any of the visuals, and I can say, I think it should be under, yeah, it should be under pivot table analyze. So click on any of the pivot tables and click on insert slicer. Okay, now it's asking me, slicer is like a filter. It's like we want to insert a filter into our dashboard. What is the filter we want to add? We want to add a filter for department. Okay, I'm going to click on OK. Now see what we have here. This is a filter. Now watch what happens to this pivot table when I interact with this filter. You can see when I change it to executive office, it's filtered that particular pivot table. Okay, so it's a slicer. I'm going to do this again for the benefit of those that missed it. Okay, so I'm going to go to pivot table, analyze. I'm going to click on Insert Slicer, and I'm going to click on Department. Okay, so you can see I can use this to filter this table as I want. If I want to remove the filter, I click on this and the filters are gone. Okay, now what I've done is only interacting with this filter alone, or with this dash pivot table alone. But I want a scenario whereby this filter should interact with all of these other pivot tables. So what do? Right click the slicer. Okay, and you're going to see something that says report connections. Okay, I have it here. I'm going to right click it again, and I'm going to see report connections. Okay, now what this is just saying is select pivot table and pivot chart reports to connect to this slide filter. So you just want to check all of these other pivot tables such that all of them are connected to your slicer. All right, that way when you filter, so this is activated now. Now watch what happens. If I want to see how many staff members are in the executive office, can you see everything here is filtered? So this is one, employee is one, and she's a female, one, she's a US citizen, her salary is $250,000. She joined the company through Indeed. Her age is 69, and she's in the executive office. Okay, this is easy because it's one person. Let's look at the sales department. Okay, employees in the sales department are 31. There are 15 females and 16 male. 29 of them are US citizens, 2 of them are eligible non-citizen. The average salary in that department is $2.1 million. And then this is how they join the organization. The average age in that unit is 45 years. And of course, the 31 sales. Now, it's very easy here. Let's now go put it on our dashboard. I'm going to remove this filter. Okay, now I'm going to cut this. What did I do? I'm going to cut this and I'm going to put it on our dashboard, Control V. Okay, now let's watch magic happen. Now, what do we want to do? We want to interact the same way we interacted with those pivot tables. We want to interact with our pivot charts. Okay, so guess what? Admin office, see, all the dashboards are filtered. Executive office, all the dashboards get filtered. IT department, 50 staff, all the dashboard gets filtered. Production, all the dashboards get filtered. Sales, all the dashboard gets filtered. Software engineering, all the dashboard gets filtered. Now, the best part, you can select more than one filter at a time. If you hold Control and you click on sales with software engineering, you see now we are selecting sales and software engineering. If you hold Control on your keyboard and select production, you see now we are checking for the information across 3 departments. If you select IT, now you're selecting 4. To remove all the filters, uncheck this filter and you're back to selecting everything. This is how interactive dashboards work. This is the secret. There's no other secret other than this, right? This way, if you are able to start using this in your organization, you're able to transform your reports. You're not going to be doing repetitive reports anymore, because once you do it once, let's say you have different units or different cost centers, and you need to prepare, instead of preparing 4 or 5 different reports, you can prepare one report. This can be maybe the cost center, this can be production units, this can be by your regions. Prepare one report, and now you're able to filter for the Lagos office, for the Abidjan office, for the office in Morocco. This one is for the office in South Africa. This report is for the office in the UK, and so on and so forth. Or you prepare a budget. You want to see what is the budget for let's say this is a budget. Let's say this is a budget dashboard. And you want to click, okay, so how much did we budget for the, how much did we budget for L&D, all right? Filter, how much did we budget for talent acquisition? How much did we budget for advert placement? How much did we budget on, I mean, anything, just insert the slicer and you're able to figure that out. I'm going to take it one more time, but instead I'm going to use another slicer. Okay, let's say we also want to see a gender slicer. Okay, we want to be able to interact with, so out of, for example, out of US citizen, non-citizen, how many of them are females and male? In the production department, how many of them are females and males? We want to see what is a trend of how people, oh, I forgot to rename this to, let's say, year-on-year hiring trend. Okay, year-on-year hiring trend. Let's insert another slicer. This time, I can click on any pivot table, right click, and I can say, oh, sorry, not right click. Click on the pivot table, go to pivot table, analyze, and click on insert slicer. Now the slicer we want to insert is what? Gender or sex, okay? Okay, so now we see F and M. I wish we had, okay, let's do something. Let me also show you that pivot tables can react. Let's come back to our data. I want to show you something. Let's go to the gender column. See, here, we have F and M. Let's say we want to rename this to male and female. Okay, so right click. Let's do Control F. Control F. We want to find. Let me do this in such a way that will not affect anyone. How do we do this? How do we do this? If you search for M first and you change it to, yeah, this will work. You search for M, replace with male. I want to replace all right? Done. And you search for F, you want to replace it with what? With female. Female. Replace all. Okay? Now, what happens? You've made changes to your pivot table. This is not static. Any changes you make, all you need to do, right, is come back to your pivot table, right click, and what? Refresh. What happens to, can you see? Now we have male and female, right? And on our filter, on our slicer as well, this has also updated. The same thing will happen if you add more data to your pivot table. So let's say as at the time of preparing this report, you only had 312. If you insert 5 more employees here, or 10 or 20 or 50 more, the pivot table will pick that as well. So long as you formatted this as a table before you start. If you want to remember how to do that, please consult our first training when the report is shared. Okay, so we have females and males. Can you see? So you can filter with female and you can filter with male. Let's now, currently this is only affecting the pivot table we selected for. What we need to do is right click, report connections, and of course we connect it to all the other pivot tables. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pivot tables. Okay, now everything is connected. So if I check female, everything filters to female. If I check for male, everything filters to male. So what do? Let's cut this, Ctrl X, and we take it to our dashboard. Okay, let's put it here, Ctrl V. Okay, so here we have male and we have female. Okay, so what happens? You can filter for female You can filter for male. You can decide to remove the filter, and it affects everything. Okay. How cool is that? Right? Let's go back. Okay. Male, female, remove filter. Okay. Male, female, remove filter. Oh, because I had, let me quickly change this color back. So when we did this, there was no color for female. So this is a color for female. Right click, fill. This is a color for male. Okay. Now I already have a summary. Because of time, I'm just going to copy this summary and I'm going to put it here. Okay, now what is the summary? Let me also paint a color so I can show you. Okay, so now we say Covenant currently has 311 employees with a gender balance of 43% and 53% for males and females respectively. Okay, talent from other non-race represent 40%. Oh, by the way, we didn't do this, apologies, of the workforce. We represent a good diversity score. Our average workforce age is 44, with 23% of our workforce close to retirement age. Proper succession planning should be implemented in this case. If you also have other summary, you can also add it. Oh, we have 80% of our workforce is in the production department. Our best hiring sources are this, and this. Hiring sources, websites, order, and something should be discontinued. We hired the most staff during between 2010 and 2014. So all of these insights you can put in here. Okay. Now, let's say I'm done. For the interest of time, I want to stop here. You're free to continue to complete this. I can share the picture of the dashboard we are trying to achieve. And of course, you can try to do that on your own. Let's say this is the dashboard we want to build. Okay. Let me just put this here for now. I'm just going to cut this and this. Control X. And I'm going to bring this to, I'm going to bring them here. Oh, I shouldn't have got them. I'm just going to bring them to the right-hand side here. So this is my first slicer. This is my second slicer here. Okay, so that means that I can utilize this space for other things, like maybe make this bigger or make this bigger. Okay, and make this bigger as well. So this is here, takes the space, this is here. Okay, and this is all the way till the end. So let's say I'm done. Now, we've been able to answer all of Janet's questions. How do we share this? One of the things we can do, if we print, let's see. We can see all of this is printing to page 1. Now we can print to a PDF. Okay, so the printer I've selected here is a PDF printer. Let me just say print. We can also do save as. We can do save as PDF. So those are different ways to, let me just save in downloads, save. Let me just give it a name, Covenant. Okay, I can also do save as. Okay, so let me try to bring what I just saved. Let me bring it up. One moment. Okay, one moment. Let me bring it. So I've saved it as PDF, as a shareable PDF. So if I open this right now, can you see? This is my PDF file. So this is a shareable PDF file now that you can send to someone. Another thing you can do is to also save all of this. So if I click on one of the charts, I do Control A. You can right click and save as a picture. See, Let me do that again. Click on one of the visuals, Control A to select every other one. Right click, save as picture. Okay, that's another way I can save it to downloads. Okay, so it says I already have a picture. Let me just say curve nag. Okay, so if I open that picture I have, let me bring it down here for you to see. Let me bring it down here so you can see this is that picture. I don't know why I can't see this, but maybe I didn't do something right. But yeah, this is it as a picture. Ladies and gentlemen, this is our Excel dashboard. Okay. If you miss out anything, also as next steps, I would implore you, please recreate this on your own. Post it on LinkedIn, try to tag Reliance Info System, we'll like it, we'll share it. Try to use this information to rebuild some of the reports in your organization as well. Okay, remember, this is the end of, this is one of our case study. Next week, we are now going to get into Power BI. Okay, for those of you that feel, oh, Excel is too simple, I want to do the heavy lifting or the big people stuff, we can get into Power BI next week. We're going to get into Power BI for HR analytics. How can you use Power BI to analyze HR data or people data? Okay, in the meantime, try to practice what we have learned, and also publish it on LinkedIn and share with Reliance Info Systems. Again, our Modiva program is still very, very much active. Please remember to nominate or tell your IT team to register for the Modiva training. The Modiva training is, I'm going to drop these one pagers in the chat, okay? Or a colleague of mine will do that. The Modiva training is a reskilling training for your IT team. So what Reliance will do is we are going to give your IT team the opportunity to learn any of the current IT skills, whether in cybersecurity, whether it's in data, whether it's in infrastructure management. After giving them the resources to learn this, we are then going to give them an exam voucher to write a Microsoft exam. Okay, a colleague of mine will drop this in the chat so you can get into the Modiva training program. Of course, your IT team, I mean, they can train for free, and of course, they can learn and earn a certification. Okay, so if you are interested in this, again, some of us are signified interest already. My colleague are also going to drop the form as well as this in the chat for you to register for this Modiva, for your IT team to register for the Modiva training, for the Modiva training. We're also doing a free cybersecurity check and free cybersecurity training for if your organization is looking into checking the security posture of your IT infrastructure, or you want to train your staff, on what are some of the things to look out for phishing emails, for things related to that. There's already a form in the chat that you can fill for you to get this free assessment, this free security check, and of course, this free cybersecurity awareness session for your organization. It promises to be very informative. There are a lot of organizations that are falling to ransomware attacks and a whole number of attacks. So if you want to check that, you can check the form. It's currently in the chat. You can fill. It's called the free cybersecurity check. There's another one for Modiva, so please feel free to fill that form as well if you have not done so. There is also your Pramadic for those of you that sign up for the free trial. Remember, we can only take 5 people. I want to believe those have been contacted already. If you're still interested in learning about a Pramadic, what it does, and how we can use the HCM module in Opramadic to look into things like payroll management, employee self-service, staff onboarding, attendance and leave management, financial management, performance management, and so on and so forth. Please fill the Opramadic form in the chat right now, and a member of staff is going to be in touch with you. We also have the license to value motion. I mentioned that already. For those of you that already have M365 licenses in your organization, and then you want to get the best value from your licenses, you can fix a call with our experts, and then they are going to show you all of the things that you can get out of your M365 license. All of these things I've mentioned so far are at zero cost. You're not paying for anything. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of today's session on people analytics, facilitated by the Reliance Info System. Next week, we're going to start with Power BI. A link is going to be dropped in this chat, or is going to be sent to you to download Power BI desktop, or if you can do that on your own before the next session, let me quickly get this to download Power BI desktop. Okay, I'm just going to drop this link here. You can also go through your forgotten what it's called. Okay, so this is the link to download Power BI desktop. Please have it handy before our next class, because this is where our next training is going to be, and we're going to be introducing another case study next week. So please download from you can also download from the Microsoft Store. You can download Power BI desktop from the Microsoft Store. Thank you very much for joining this session. Reliance Info Systems is appreciative. Please feel free to connect with us on social media. And I would love to see your dashboard. I would love to see what you create. So please, if your dashboard is not fine, don't tag us. Don't tag, don't tag Reliance, don't tag Fatai. But we know you're proud of what you have done. Okay, so please feel free to tag Reliance Info Systems in the dashboard that you've built. You can tag myself, and we'll try to repost as many as possible. Till we meet next time, thank you very much. I remain the humble facilitator, Fatai Sani. Thank you very much, and bye-bye.